Again, almost exactly the same layout. You come into this large entryway, and then branching off to the right and left appear to be other rooms, which are probably private. And then this center area, where there seems to be a table, and perhaps that's where dinner and all that sort of thing was served. And then those two areas on either side led us into the back courtyard, somewhere a stairway that would take us upstairs. Most of these houses were owned by merchants, this one a lumber merchant, but it may be they had an affection for the arts or whatever this may be portraying. These may be just symbols of religion or something. Certainly look like symbols. That's a butterfly or dragonfly to the left. Bowl of fruit, whatever that device on the right there is. It looks like a classic bell design for a bell tower, but who knows. And the gentleman from Beijing that was speaking good English, his guide had opened up one of these doors. So it may be possible at an earlier time these opened up the outside and were not bricked over. And it gave air flow and an openness to this room. Again, notice the heads are missing. I'll have to leave it to when I get home to be able to figure out what this is. Whatever those heads were, those characters in those scenes must have reflected the culture that Mao found so offensive to his own God image. Here we see how these beautiful red lanterns are used. And here next door, the impressive front of, I'm sure, another lumber merchant. Just saw these quaint swinging doors, although I doubt with those rusted hinges they swing anymore, but cute little idea. Notice too the small detail there. That part of the upper portion of that door frame extended out so that it locks in place. Not sure if I've been here before, it may just be by a different route. Okay, so here we are at Xunjng Hall, built in the end of the Qing Dynasty, decorated with wooden carving, folding screen placed in the hall to improve traditional house design. Other more modern design is glass and lock, also adopted to present the advance of social culture. I'm going to turn down this little narrow alleyway just because I was intrigued by its simplicity and the allure of that curve that I can't see beyond. Looking at these bricks that are underneath this, the plaster, are those fingerprints from the making of that wall? Or just some kind of random working of the wall? What was this raised pedestal here for? Perhaps a house was on here once? Or is it just for some other reason? Interesting to get a look inside these walls. Not very substantial. It looks like what our bricks are not bricks, but just simply pieces of rectangular stone put together and then filled with dirt and then continued on up to the next course. Now I don't know whether I'm going towards the beginning or the end of where I started. I've seen this signa several times on the stones I walk on, but is it just related to wherever the stones came from? Like a civic government's drain system? Lovely change of pace from a few minutes ago. The sun trying to poke through. If it does, it'll be a hot, muggy day. Sequential sign tells me to keep going, and this doesn't look familiar, whatever that's worth. And about 15 minutes downriver is the other little town of Yancun. Herd of nice, healthy-looking chickens, unlike the kind you see in Cambodia and Thailand. Pretty sure this is what I'm looking for. Pretty little roof building, all in all. Here we see what some of these houses may have looked like before. In subsequent years, they were built in front of, such as this one partially is now. So it may have had this kind of a brick front as we see, maybe. And then on the sides and the top at least, that, or some combination of it. I'm now going in circles and back without realizing it, so I will go back. Supposedly there's a prow-shaped bridge in this town, and since the river is to my rear as I'm walking down, and I will go back to where I went to the bathroom and go to the river, see if I can see the bridge, so I can down and look at it. There are some drawings that are recent, which may be on the wall of what now is a hotel, I don't know. But there are 2 or 3 such buildings right in a row here. So at one time this was intended to be the town square, perhaps. And there's a little store down there and a place for smoking underneath that pagoda type roof. There's a lady doing her laundry. So somewhere down that way must be that bridge. I think that must be the other little town. I don't see a walkway, but I'll try and find one, so I don't have to take the road. So according to this map, Sixi is ahead of us, and where we've been walking is Yancun. Who'd have thunk? Well, in that case, I'm going to take this, what appears to be a road, and see if it'll take me down to Sixi. So now I'm walking on what passes for a paved path, actually. It's fun walking along this pathway that farmers have used to go to work for who knows how long. This looks like wheat. So there's Yancun. It's almost as though he's breathing. My guess is that this design helps to shed the water off what's beneath and allow the whole thing to get drier faster. Can't tell if his wings are damaged or if that's a clever design. Can't be sure these are in focus, but if they are, they're probably about 1/8 of an inch in diameter. The whites are probably a little bit smaller than that, but the overall flower probably 1/2 an inch, including the red. Pretty blue flower. Maybe 1/2 an inch in length, but not more than 1/8 or a little bit more, 3/16 in width. Here we're approaching Sixi, but this looks very much like a modern city, or modern buildings. 3-4 story. A couple of large muskox, or whatever they're called, oxen, water buffalo maybe.
啊，这不要接触啊！你接触了，好个档次。